Hey guys, so Sean Davey said that Sam and the mother, his grandmother, lost all their belongings, their clothes. Sam only had a pair of socks in the hotel room because what they were doing was taking whatever they needed for the day and then swapping out the clothes, and that's how they changed from things in the U-Haul. So they had no idea the U-Haul was going to be towed away, or else I'm sure they would have had the clothes in the room, most of the clothes. But remember, Jaguar said she was going to the storage place to store the clothes there and the belongings, but she didn't get a chance because the cops picked her up and she went to jail. The U-Haul was sitting right in front of the hotel. And as you guys saw in the previous video, the cops were sitting in front of the U-Haul. So when the U-Haul was stowed away, all the clothes from the grandmother and Sam was in the U-Haul. Now I'm wondering, since the company is going to require the U-Haul back, who is going to be paying for that? How are they going to get that U-Haul back? And I guess the company would pay to get the U-Haul back. They would also have ownership of the contents within the U-Haul, including Sam's clothes and the grandmother's clothes. So they have to start from fresh in buying everything all over again. So can you guys imagine this elderly woman got to go through all these things, you know? She is really going through it. And the bizarre thing is she don't want to leave. She wants to stay because she knows she's got a sick daughter and any mother would want to stay. It doesn't matter where she is and the circumstances, but Jaguar's mother loves her to death and she wants to stay with her. She knows, I'm sure she knows the situation is not ideal, but she wants to make sure her daughter is okay. That's why she's staying. Well, she wanted to stay, but what I'm gathering is that the family in Philadelphia is going to put them on a bus and bring them to where they are in Philly. So, in the midst of Sean Davey doing his live, Lachelle, Jaguar's sister, big sister, decided to come on so she can just dispel a lot of rumors. Because there are a lot of rumors going out there, including when Jaguar said her sister is a drug addict, a crack cocaine addict. And her sister said, no, she's definitely not an addict. She is not a drug user. That's one of the lies that Jaguar put out there. And her sister, Michelle, said Jaguar has always been like this type of mania that she goes on with. She's always been like this. They were raised in a very strict 7 days Adventist home. The father was an alcohol drug counselor, and the mother was a school teacher. She said they were never raised in any projects or in the ghetto. And all this stuff that Jaguar has been putting out there about the family is not true, including that she got raped by Lachelle's ex-husband. She said that's not true. And one of the daughters came forth and she said that Jaguar, one day they were over at her house, she and her sister, and she sat them down and told them that their father raped her. And I mean, those are the type of bizarre behavior Jaguar would exhibit around the family. And her sister, Lachelle, says she loves her dearly, but she has tried to get her help. She knows she cannot help her because she has spiraled out of control. So what we're seeing on social media is just a real dip, just a fraction of what they went through over the years, including Sam Sr., who battled hell and high water to get his son away from that type of madness. And she said she was one of the people who testified in court against her sister, whom she loved dearly. And Jaguar has never forgiven her for it. But we know she's not going to forgive her. We know this because, it was her child that she was instrumental in getting him away from Jaguar. So there's no forgiveness for that. But it was necessary because he was in a bad situation with his mother. Now, Jaguar was telling Sam when they were in a hotel room that she has always been on the road with him, and he grew up around adults when he was little. And he didn't even, I guess, assimilated with children because I guess he didn't know how to play with children because he was always around adults. And so you guys get a picture that it was not a good situation for a little boy to be in. And when you are around adults, you hear all the cussing and the drugging and the women and the men fornicating and etc. Maybe that's what he saw. So it really was not a good situation for him. So it's good that they were able to get him away, Lachelle as well as Sam Sr., away from the mother. Although we know Jaguar loves Sam and Sam loves his mother. In any event, I just wanted you guys to hear a little bit about what was said. It was very telling because they were very passionate. Lachelle is kind of cool and calm, but the daughters were very passionate because they said when Jaguar threw the ashes, Giovanni's ashes, it really hurt them. They said they cried because he was like a brother to them. And they said they called him a brother because he grew up with them. Mainly, they said that she didn't even raise him. It's his aunt, their mother, Lachelle, who raised him. So she was like a second mother to him. Not really an aunt, more like a mother. And he even voiced that. And so it hurt them deeply when she threw that boy's ashes on strangers because they said they were trying to get a funeral for him, which Jaguar denied them that. She did not want a funeral, she just cremated him. And look what she did with his ashes, threw it just on strangers, disposing of part of the body that way, which was mortifying when they saw that. But the daughters of Lachelle said they really wanted a funeral. They gathered everyone, all his childhood buddies, because they could not get a funeral. Because Jackie, Jaguar, denied them that. She just said she's going to cremate him. And so what they did, they had a celebration of life for him. Since there was no funeral, they were denied that. They really wanted a funeral for him. In any event, that bone of contention between this family has always been. Jaguar don't like them because Lachelle said when she was 19, she left home because she was pregnant, to start her own life with her kid. She was 19, Jaguar was 9. Jaguar resented it because she's always told her that you left me with those crazy people. Now she's talking about her mom and dad. So she accused her sister of leaving her with those crazy people. And mom and dads are always crazy to children when children can't have their way. So that's not surprising to me. But Jaguar apparently went into some type of psychosis. But her sister says she's always been that way. Always been hyper, I guess. But she did say if her energies were channeled in the right direction, maybe she wouldn't have, been like this all the way to the left. Because she remembered when Jaguar was writing songs and the father discovered the songs and he threw them all in the fire, which was very devastating for Jaguar. But she said she's always had her sister's back. She was the one who supported her music career early on, even when the parents thought that she shouldn't be in music. She should be doing some type of other career. So the sister Lachelle went on to tell Sean Davy Way that she appreciates all that he has done, but please don't do it anymore because Sam, as well as the mother, will be out of Shreveport tomorrow. They're getting on a Greyhound bus. Sam is going with his father, and the grandmother is going to the sister. And she said the reason why they're getting on the bus because they don't have proper IDs. When you get on a plane, you have to, have things like passport, driver's license, state ID, social security, that type of stuff. At least 2 forms of ID, and they do not have it. Because Jaguar had their identification and she lost the IDs. So these people don't have proper IDs to get on a plane. And you're just, left baffled. What the hell is Jaguar doing? She has ruined her life and she's messed up or was trying to mess up Sam's life as well as the mother. But Lachelle said Jaguar is the apple of her mother's eye because Jaguar is the love child, the baby of the family, and she can do no wrong with her mother. Everything that her mother has is hers. Everything that belongs to the mother is Jaguar's, and the mother do not mind because she loves Jaguar to that extent. She also said the reason why Giovanni and Jaguar did not get along and they fell out was because his grandmother, Jaguar's mother, was giving him money and Jaguar was resentful. She felt as though he shouldn't have any part of his grandmother's money. All the money should be hers. And this is why she and her son fell out. And she did confirm, yes, Jaguar did say he's dead to me. And right after he was shot and killed. And so she probably is carrying around that guilt. But anyway, this is just the interview between Sean Davy and Lachelle and her two girls. I found it to be quite interesting. Let's take a listen.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I think something had happened. She clicked off the things that she has caused, and it spiraled out of control. Like, it's always been like this. Like, y'all are just now seeing it, but we all know her. Like, her family knows her. So this just built up years of mental health issues, and now she's just losing it. But honestly, y'all not gonna like what I'm about to say, but I'm kind of glad that she's locked up because now maybe she can, sober up and maybe get the help that she needs.
We're certainly not mad that she's locked up because I think most of the public have been saying just that she should be locked up to get some type of treatment.
Of course, we don't want anything to happen to her, but the way that she's moving out here in these streets, the things that she's accusing people of, and just how crazy she is on live and throwing my cousin's ashes on somebody, like, oh my gosh. I'm not gonna hold you. I've never seen nothing like that in my life. I've never seen nothing like that, and just knowing the situation and the relationship and the dynamic they had, it really upset me. It was to the point where my brother's best friends and the people he grew up with were they don't really bang with my Aunt Jackie because she didn't bang with him. We were upset. We were crying. That was crazy to me. I never seen no shit like that in life. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, ain't nobody mad at her. I'm mad at the things that she's doing. I'm mad at the things she's saying. This is the reason why. That's unforgivable. Yeah, that's unforgivable. You don't do that. And if Giovanni was if he was here and he just saw it, like, oh my gosh. Oh my God. Like, he was a very just respectable young man. So it's just like, yeah, he wasn't going for none of that. Like, so it's actually crazy. That's why he didn't deal with her, because he knew how crazy she was. He knew the shit she could say. That shit is hurtful. The shit that she's saying about people is crazy. All these content creators she's coming for, the family she's coming for, the way she talks about my mom love her sister. I don't care what none of y'all saying in this chat. My mom love her sister. She love her family. You hear me? Me and my sister, the main ones. We like, yo, I be over here telling her, like, you need to chill. This girl don't bang with you. But this is her sister. This is somebody who she's grown up with. She loves her sister, and she's upset. She be in here crying over this girl. And I'm just like, Mom, at the end of the day, you cannot force a relationship she don't want. It is what it is. She needs mental help. But also, you're so delusional and crazy to the point where you're making it seem like all of your issues that you cause is everyone else's fault. So it's like, what are you talking about? Like, even when Giovanni, when he passed, she literally called us and she blew up like, it's y'all fault, and just screaming and saying the most terrible things.
So what I'm gathering from this, Giovanni always had a close relationship with his aunt and his cousins, and they regarded him as their brother. Sounds like if they don't have brothers. So he was like a brother. And the aunt was like a mom to him. And I think Jaguar resented that because she couldn't provide a stable environment. She was always on the road, and it was no life, I guess, for these young boys to be on the road with a mom. So Giovanni kind of was in his aunt's family as another child. So when he passed away, the first people to be blamed, it was her sister. She said it was their fault. But I wonder, their fault for what? What was their fault? For trying to raise him? Then his mother was always on the road, instead of her saying thanks that I was away, at least you provided my son with a family. It was none of that. It's your fault. And she was so resentful that she did not have a funeral for him to keep them out of the participating of that. So they said they had their own little celebration for him with all his friends and all the family out there in Philly. But I get a clear sense of, or to the lengths that Jaguar will go to spite others. She used her dead son to spite the rest of the family by not having a funeral for him.
And I'm just like, what are you going to talk about Goomber, as you called him? Goomber. This nigga calls me up talking about if you ever step foot in the state of Texas, you or your 3 kids, I'm going to blow you away.
But I guess that's how much control over Goomba Jaguar had, because he didn't know this family, and yet he was calling, threatening them. And again, any man who can sit back and watch his wife defame and demean his own mother for so many years can do and say anything to anybody else. Because I think when it comes to his mother, that's the one person he should have put his foot down and told Jaguar, oh no, you can come for everybody else, but not my mama, not my mother.
This nigga calls me up talking about if you ever step foot in the state of Texas, you or your 3 kids, I'm going to blow you away. One cat to the bullet. Yeah, right to the brain. Yeah, and Jackie told me, you owe me one, bitch. What the fuck you mean by that? Like what? Like, so you're mad because my 2 children are alive? Like, my aunt is so jealous of my mother. She was so upset that her son died. Like, she wants one of us to die. I tell my mom all the time, she's like, I just want to help my little sister, like, maybe we can repair our relationship. I said, Mom, you can never, ever, ever meet up with this woman. After they threatened to put a bullet in all of our heads, and let me tell you what she did. This is Jamie, right? So I live in Miami, right? She drove 24 hours with her dog and threatened me. It had a whole gang of Haitians with her. Hold on. She drove 24 hours to come and fight me and threaten me all crazy on Facebook with Uber. I seen a comment saying why we're not getting my grandma. First off, yeah, we're getting her. Yes. By divine intervention, but let me tell y'all right now, Frances, my grandma, she don't want to leave. That is her golden child. She is brainwashed. She's not going anywhere. As long as Jackie is home and out of prison, Frances, she's not going nowhere. There's nothing that anyone can say. My mom, me, my sister, my brother, my aunt, her sisters, there's nothing that anyone can say. Period. But now Jackie has a way, I don't know what she did to my grandma, but it's always been like this. Y'all would have to know the family history in order to understand why my grandma and my Aunt Jackie have the relationship that they do. She has always been her golden child. That was her love child from her marriage. And yeah, she's not willing to leave Jackie. She'll do anything for her. Jackie lives off of her. Let's talk about it. So, no, it's not that we don't want to help. Of course we will help. Of course we've been trying to help. But when there's nothing that you can do because she doesn't want to go, my grandma told my mom this morning, she straight up said, she was like, if you buy me a ticket, you're wasting your money. No, she's scared to leave. She better not dare, okay? She's scared to leave.
So I believe them when they say mom is scared to leave, because mom knows when Jaguar gets out of prison or jail, wherever she's at, she's going to raise hell to get her back, because she wants that income from mom. She wants that money, that monthly check that comes in.
Like, and that's just a different, that's a whole different situation that we could touch on, but y'all will be here all day, okay? Y'all will be here all day. It's just a lot to unpack, and I think a lot, okay, it is elder. But I think a lot of people have opinions when they really don't understand, and you won't understand unless you knew us personally, unless you saw what we've seen and the things that we've been through and how we were raised. But Jackie and my grandma, that is a completely different dynamic. Again, like I said, that it's hard to understand. That is her love child. That is her golden child. Jackie can do no wrong. The reason why Jackie and her son Giovanni had a bad relationship is because they were fighting over my grandma's money. Now, that's the real tea. that's why she was saying, "Oh, he's dead to me," because she was upset because Giovanni was also a favorite, and Giovanni would get, he would get money from my grandma all the time. He would get money. I don't know what he was doing with it, but regardless, he would get money. So that's what really started to break their relationship, even though they really never had one to begin with. But that ruined it because Jackie felt like he was a threat to what she feels like is rightfully hers for whatever reason. And
like it's to the point where Mom, please don't read the comments. It's to the point where my grandma was actually down here for a little minute or whatever. We was about to get her into like a senior facility, this, that, and the third. As soon as Aunt Jackie called her, I'm talking about she gets on a flight. Mind you, I'm not gonna hold you. She treats my grandma like shit. Like, I don't know what y'all see. I get it, y'all her fans. I got fans. It is what it is. But y'all are like, I'm not even gonna say y'all condoning it. But at this point, she treat my grandma like shit. That's what she do. She take her money. She verbally abuses her. And I know she in there pushing that girl in the crib. She pushing her.
Well, we hope she's not pushing her. I mean, that would be physical abuse as well. So we hope she's not doing that. But maybe one day someone will speak up on that who have first-hand information, like either the mother or Sam, because Sam gets to see everything that's going on. Maybe one day he's going to come forth, because we know her mother is not going to come forth and say that Jaguar abuses her physically.
Man, crazy. Because that's how she is. That's how she is. She don't like my grandma. Y'all see, she talks about my papa, hi. She love my granddad. But she does not like her mother. Like, that's just kind of what it is.
And so she's a difficult person. She's an extreme narcissist. She used to say all the time, my grandpa was alive, but he was dying from dementia and Alzheimer's. She would say to my grandma all the time, I wish it was you instead.
How awful. And this is why I don't understand why they allowed her to take possession of the grandmother. Why did they allow that? Why did her sister allow it? Because Jaguar should have never had custody of her grandmother. She should have never had power of attorney, because they already know she's abusive to her. She takes all her money and she talks to her like crap. She cusses her out. So why did they allow it? She cannot be that overpowering. All they had to do was get a lawyer, show all the tapes, and the court would have removed the mother from her custody.
And we would just be looking at her like, what?
Like, be fucking for real. This your mother, bro.
So it's like, y'all are commenting and y'all have no idea what you're even talking about. Like, we're watching it live like you guys every day. The Ashes was it for me. I was done with it then. But we're watching this unfold, and we're watching years of her mentally unstable ass it's just it's spiraling out of control.
Somebody asked if my mother was... And no, my mother was not sexually abused. OSA, I'm so sorry. I just saw that in the comment. No, it's too much going around. This was just for clarity. But this is our daily life. And this is very upsetting. And no one wants to go live with this. Listen, I could have done the interview with Tasha K. I had I took down my social media. Cut it. We already know what Tasha did with y'all. I had to shut down my social media. It was too upsetting for me. It was just I couldn't deal with it. But there's so many people saying, I'm Jack's cousin. I'm this, I'm that. I don't know who you are. This Kevin dude, I don't know who he is. That he went live with Goomber. I don't know who he is. He's not my cousin on no side of my family. Who are you?
So guys, Michelle said she don't know this guy who says he's a family member, Jaguar's cousin. She said she never seen him, heard about him, not one day in her life. I'm paraphrasing. But the thing is with Jaguar, everybody she likes and meet up with, she makes them a member of her family. Like Legina was her godchild. Solar was her nephew. And so it's not surprising that she called this guy her cousin. And this is why the other day when she said her brother was with her, I was saying maybe it wasn't her brother, because she puts a label on everybody she meets. It's either an uncle, brother, sister, or whatever. So getting back to this point, her sister is saying no, this guy who claimed to be a cousin, a member of the family, is not. So maybe it was one of her friends she said was a cousin.
Everyone needs to really let up, because we've been quiet for a long time. She's the one who's dragging us, saying my dad raped her, and Everyone did that was horrible. To her. She was 9. She was drinking her little spiked lemonade, and we at her house. She sits us down, right? This messy bitch. She sits us down, and she was like, I just want you guys, I want you girls to know something. And we're like, what? She was like, did you know that your father, your mother's ex-husband? Yes, she did. We were 9. And me and my sister always had like just a sense of humor, but like we kind of like laugh in like odd situations. So we looked at each other and we just smirked like, the fuck is wrong with her? Like, is she okay? And then she just goes on and on about how he raped her and my mom married a rapist, her rapist. Oh yeah, it was crazy. So we go home and we saw my mom. My mom was like, what she said? I'm like, she said that daddy raped her. And then she was just like, well, that's not true.
So we're getting a real glimpse into how sick Jaguar was back then and still is. For you to sit your nieces down and tell them that their dad raped her and the mom knew about it. And I mean, she could have very easily went to the police department and filed charges if it's a true allegation and have it proven in a court of law.
It's crazy. She's been crazy. And I'm not saying that in a bad way, like she's been crazy. Obviously she needs help. Like she needs real help. We're not here. We can't do that. So we'll see what happens. We could have been said something. Nobody is here to drag. It's the truth.
Mom was very calm and she kept, I guess, apologizing for her daughters. But we understand how passionate and angry the daughters are because for years Jaguar have been lying on her family. And so I understand their anger. I would have been angry too.
My daughters just get they're very passionate. We have a passionate family. Speak our minds, but I know that, no, she'll come. No, she's coming. I'm confident with that. She's coming.
So Jaguar's sister is talking about the mother going to Philadelphia. That's why she kept repeating she's coming. Because although she don't want to leave Shreveport, she has no choice. She has no choice. She has no clothes. The U-Haul was towed with all the clothes. There's no one there really to pay for the hotel bill. Sean the FUA paid for one more night. And in terms of the food situation, I don't think they have any credit cards that they can use to order food because the credit cards that are there in Jaguar's name, they probably don't even know the PIN to it. So any ordering of food would have to be cash. And I'm sure they're running out of cash by now. So they got to get out of there tomorrow. So she have no choice.
But I just know, I hate that, whenever my sister gets out of jail, she's going to feel alone because my mother's not there. I don't know what she's going to do.
But I see when Jackie gets out of jail or prison, wherever she is, she's going to create havoc upon her family. She's going to go down there to Philadelphia where the mother is, and she's going to raise hell. But you know what? That's something they got to deal with because they have to bear in mind and keep in mind at all times that the mother is being removed from Jackie's care for the benefit of her health. Because it's not a good situation where Jaguar has the mother right now. And it's been like that for years. And finally, the family is taking steps to remedy the situation. So they should never question themselves as to why they're doing it and to backtrack and have any type of regrets. So maybe God is trying to tell her something, that she needs to sit down for a little while, and when she gets out of prison or jail, wherever she is, she needs to spend some time with herself and try to remedy and rectify and work on herself.
She's going to try and do something. She wouldn't be Jackie if she didn't do that. Yeah, so I'll be ready for it.
So her sister says she will be ready for it. But I guess that's where the police department comes in. If she gets out of hand, all you got to do is call the police department and get her removed from in front of the place, in front of their home, wherever she's going to be standing, cussing them out. Because I know it's coming.
I've been up since 5 o'clock this morning on the phone with the family. Yes. And, having to put my aunts, my mother's sisters, on the phone with her to back me up. So we made a lot of progress. The only way she would be able, she can't remove Sammy because I call him Sammy, I'm sorry. He's like, Michelle, can you call me Sam? The only way he'll go back to her is if she can convince him to do so. But I'm just hoping that once she comes out, she's going to realize that she needs to focus on herself. Get back to the music. She's brilliant.
I agree with her wholeheartedly because we've heard Jaguar singing recently. She has abused her voice, but she still got the chops. She still got it. If she stops smoking and really work on her voice, then I think she can get back to performing.
Okay, every song she ever wrote, she brought to me first. That girl walked to me before she walked to her mother and father. My baby sister. You think I like to see this?
And folks, this is not isolated to just Jaguar's family. As we all know, there are a lot of families out there that's going through the same thing. And as much as the person goes through the mental illness and they feel that maybe they're alone in their struggle, the families go through it with them in different ways. Because I'm sure her sister would love for her to be around to see her children grow, to see her nieces grow up. But she can't just be around them because of how bad her mental illness is.
I have to do what I have to do for my mother. They threatened us with a bullet. Yeah, they don't like that. Like, I don't play like that. Yeah, they don't like that. So regardless of how much, my mom cares for her sister, it is what it is. It's like everyone needs to get from around her and get to safer ground. Because she is a wrecking ball. And she's taking everyone down. My children don't really. Down with her. And they love my sister, but I don't care who got to say anything about that. Yeah, no, they don't. They don't care for my sister too much.
But that's often the case with people who have mental illness. The family don't care about their behavior. They love the person because they're a family member, but they don't like the behavior.
Rude person. Can you blame us? But she wasn't a good aunt. Like, she wasn't a good mother. Like, we all live with my grandma in Westboro, New Jersey. So we all, like, Giovanni lived with us. Sammy lived with us. Sammy used to cry for us when we were leaving the house. Not his mother. She wasn't even there. Oh, God. So everyone's speaking like they know. And they don't. Sammy was my child first. Let's talk about it. So you see, we're very well invested.
So it really sounds as if Jaguar's sister just wants to air some things out, but some things she does not want to air. But the girls, her daughters, are going off. They're not having it. They are willing to put everything out there on the table since they have the platform. But she's not willing to put everything out there because she still wants to protect her baby sister in some ways.
Haven't been able to deal with her, and this is the thing. So she had been calling me for probably about 2-3 months prior to her whole start, the top of the year, all of that. But I wouldn't take her calls because I saw what she was about on YouTube, and I said, He's not calling me with good intentions. She doesn't want to say, Shelly, let's talk about this. Let's woman to woman. No.
Jaguar was probably calling her to cuss her out because everything that goes wrong in Jaguar's life, she has someone to blame for it. So she probably was going to call her and cuss her out and tell her everything is her fault yet again.
I didn't answer her call. But when the whole ashes, when that went down, I reached out to Gerald. He wouldn't take my calls at first, and then he finally did. Oh, you only want to call when there's constant chaos and something's going on. We tried to call you for months out of love and concern, and you didn't answer the phone. We're fine. The John mountains are fine. Your mother's fine. My stepson is fine. Click. He hasn't reached out to me. But I don't really know the dude. I don't know him. My brother-in-law is Sam. This another reason why my sister is very upset with me is because, when Giovanni called me, said my mom was out in Texas, she was erratic, running up bills, just doing things, just trying to hold Jackie down in jail. It was just a mess. So I went out there, stopped everything, went out to Texas, and, I ended up testifying against my sister that I love, Giovanni, Sam Sr., and my Aunt Debbie, my mother's sister. And that is what removed Sam from.
So that was another reason for Jaguar to dislike Giovanni, because he testified against her also. She said it was her, Giovanni, Sam Sr., and her mother's sister. So she's got beef with just about everybody in the family, all the extended relatives. This is why she's not around her family. And as much as she dislikes her family, she wanted Gerald to do the same with his.
Like, why would you want your child to stay with your mother that is already dealing with her own issues, and he has a father that is making well over $100,000 a year and totally capable of taking care of him and making sure he guides him on the right path? And let's shine some light on Sam. Uncle Sam. Sam is an awesome man. He was more of a father to me than my actual father. My daughters, my kids love him. Me, Giovanni, Sammy, Jamie, and my cousin Saniqua, whenever she was down, he took us out every weekend, miniature golfing, movies, all types of arcades. So all the dragging, Sam, it's dead.
Well, I think the main reason why she didn't want Sam Sr. to have custody over Sam Jr. is just out of spite, because the relationship was over and she figured that he's not going to be a part of his child's life. Jaguar is a very vindictive person.
Guma don't know what I'm trying to tell you. The way she does, she's bitter. Okay, every woman is when they get left. No, not as this, but it's not even her man, Sean. Let me tell you, nobody's safe. Okay, everybody that crosses her path is up for you. Legina and Guma about to really find out when she got out of jail. I'm trying to tell you, this is not something that I have ever wanted to do. Stop. How many times I tell you don't talk about this? Like, there's no need. Like I'm saying, for what? We don't have to prove nothing to nobody. It's not even a matter about proving now. It's just like she's put so much out there and so much has unfolded. I have my personal friends, people in my life. Shelly, maybe it's time for you to talk. But I don't know what kind of clarity I could even give you guys, because I don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. But what I do know is my mother and Sammy, they're leaving Shreveport tomorrow.
And I guess that's the most important thing, is that they're out of Louisiana and back into the arms of their families who can watch over and take care of them.
That's what I know. And that's on period. Okay? I told them, ain't nobody down there with no IDs or nothing. Now, guess what that means? People got to get on the bus. My grandma's too old to be on somebody's bus. Let's be real. And she made too much money. She made too much money, and she should not be on no bus. She should be able to fly first class. And it's sad that all of her business is out there. People are saying how much money my grandma makes. That's personal. But because Jackie burns bridges with everybody that she meets and she talks to, people feel the need to put her personal business online again. So now we're just addressing it. So y'all saying that, y'all are confident, y'all are toxic. No, we're just saying what it is. We're fully able to buy a flight, but they don't have proper ID. So you know how long that ride about to be? Oh, Jamie, stop. I've been on a Greyhound from Philly to Florida. It's not fun. It stinks. Oh, God. It stinks. And now my grandma got to deal with that. And she's an elder. Jamie doesn't like when she saw how my sister was speaking to my mother first in the bathtub. She called me from work. I was working. I work from home. She calls me from work going off. Do you see this? And I did see it. And then with the whole eviction, that was so humiliating. Like, why my sister would do that? I see my mother sitting out in a house dress and it's hot. Like, when she asked, and then the cop didn't even he didn't even ask my sister's name.
And we all saw that, where the cop that was on the scene when people called that Jaguar's mother was being mistreated and she was neglecting of her mother, and the cop went on the scene the day of the eviction, and the mother was, to me, she was looking so disheveled, and the cop just asked her name and if she was all right, and her mother said, yes, I'm all right. Doesn't it look like if I'm all right? And the cop just left it alone. I mean, to me, it's as if the cop didn't even want to do his job. He didn't want to fill out the extra paperwork because clearly you see an elderly woman who several people have called on as not being okay. Never mind what Jaguar was telling him. He should have pulled the mother aside and do a questioning apart from Jaguar, where she is not privy to that conversation. So the cop saw this elderly woman on the sidewalk, evicted, and you didn't even bother to question their next move, if they're going to a hotel, if they got a place to go to, if the mother was truly all right. And he should not have asked that question in front of Jaguar because there's intimidation. The mother's not going to answer truly and factually because she's going to feel intimidated that her daughter is listening and watching. And so he should have pulled the mother aside and questioned her properly. But he didn't. He dropped the ball and he just said, okay, mom, looks like if everything is fine here. One question he asked, or two, I believe it was two. What's your name and are you all right? And that was it.
Or let's talk about when she recorded Sammy asking him, is he autistic? Sammy has never had Sammy's never been diagnosed with autism, ever. So now, I'm not saying that he's not. Using him to build her platform. But Sam had him tested extensively.
That's what his father said, that he had him tested between the psychologist, psychiatrist, etc. And he was not found to be autistic. So if that's the case, obviously there's something else going on.
They never came back with that diagnosis, ever. Like, why would you do that? Ask him, is he autistic? I'm not saying that there's nothing there, and I'm not even going to talk on that, but he's not autistic. Oh, but hold up. Somebody just said, why don't they got IDs? She took them. She took them and she lost them. That's what happened. They don't have IDs. She took them and she lost them. Well, Sammy's ID expired, and my mother, I have been speaking to my mother for over a year. When are you going to have Jackie and Gerald take you to get proper ID? Do you know how unsafe that is? If something happens to you while you're out, you don't have proper ID. It doesn't even go to the address where you're living. It's not even that it's expired. It's not even at the address where they were living. Jackie has not been homeless. Whenever you see her and Gerald driving around in the car, that's because they wanted to. They had somewhere to stay the whole time because my mother was holding that down.
So there you have it, guys. We can stop with a narrative that Jaguar and Gerald were homeless. The sister said nope, at no point were they ever homeless because the mother's money was going towards all the bills, including the rent.
Yeah. They were never homeless. Just like she said, she paid half of this. She paid all. But like I heard her say to her viewers, you guys believe anything. You believe anything someone tells you. Yeah. I mean, this is my sister. This is my sister. That girl was blackmailed.
Now she's holding back a lot because she said, this is my sister. And she said something about blackmail. And she bit her tongue and she said, She did not want to divulge what that was. But it had something to do about blackmail. Maybe she was blackmailing someone in the family. I don't know. She stopped short of saying what it was.
That girl was blackmailed. Let me shut. God. Oh boy. Yeah. So, no one is disrespecting Jackie. Did I see that? I'm sorry. I don't care. The way she did my grandma is out of control. The way she did my brother is out of control. Now, y'all want to talk about disrespect? When you wake up and you see your brother's asses being thrown on a random man in Louisiana somewhere, then you can talk to me about disrespect. Y'all need to shut the fuck up. The worst part is we beg and we wanted Johnny to have a FUA
bad. But to spite the family, she went and got him cremated. So to see his ashes be thrown as if they were nothing, can't nobody tell me nothing about how to feel. He deserved a funeral, and we could not get one because his mother spited all of us and said, we're not having a funeral. We're cremating him.
And that's exactly why she keeps talking about this mock funeral we had. We did not have a mock funeral. We were celebrating my brother. All his friends he grew up with, all his friends he went to elementary school, okay, middle school, okay, high school was there. He deserved the funeral. My brother was a good man, okay? He might have did what he did.
So she got mad and cremated him. And then talked about all of us.
And then threw his ashes like it's nothing. So, yeah, that's that.
I'm sorry, my daughters come from a very, very deep place of hurt.
I was around where you said.
Giovanni was my nephew, but he was like a son to me. And he felt like I was more of a... He hashtagged that one of his birthdays, one of his last birthdays, the birthday before he passed away, more of a mother than an auntie, more like sisters than cousins.
So again, this is the interview between Sean FUA and Jaguar's sister, Lachelle. And she chronicled the journey of how the family went through this mental illness with Jaguar for years. And like many families with loved ones who are mentally ill, it's a challenge, and it's like, when does it end? This is why her sister is so thankful that she's locked up now, that she needs to sit down for a little bit and just kind of breathe and reflect, because every day was mania. And they were looking at it as family members. It must have been hurtful. And so we're all glad that she's locked up. Hopefully they can get her some type of treatment in there when they recognize that she has this mental illness. YouTubers, I'm over and out. Drop your comments. When you come onto my channel, please automatically hit the like button. I don't have to tell you guys that. It's like coming to a person's home and ringing the doorbell. You come to my channel, hit the like. If you have not subscribed, you hit the subscribe button because it doesn't cost you a thing. I'll see you guys on the next video. Thank you for watching.